Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
Hello, baseball fans. Welcome into On Deck. I'm Tyler Redmond. As always, thank you so much for checking out the channel. I do appreciate it while you're here. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date with everything going on here at On Deck and, of course, with the Atlanta Braves. And we have something very exciting to bring to you today, an interview with the 57th overall pick in Major League Baseball's 2022 draft, our right-handed pitcher out of Boerne, Texas, Cole Phillips. And Cole has a great story to tell. We're going to get into that in just a minute, but I just wanted to come on here and tell you how impressed I am with Cole Phillips, because this is a guy who's only 19 years old, has a great head on his shoulders, has a great attitude for facing adversity, and I think he's going to go far in the Braves system. So with that said, let's jump right into the interview with future Atlanta Brave, Cole Phillips. Welcome into On Deck, a very exciting day as we are talking to the 57th overall pick of the 2022 MLB draft, Cole Phillips out of Boerne, Texas. Cole, good to be with you, man.
Thanks, man. Good to meet you as well, and thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem at all. We're excited to have you. So, Cole, obviously a pretty big week for you. If you just want to take a second, walk me through what got you here. Talk to me about, high school. You had a really good high school career. Talk to me about what your love for the game is and why it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, love for the game goes way back. I mean, I've been playing it since probably 6, 7 years old. And I feel like for me, there wasn't a certain moment where it really just clicked. And I knew this was the sport that I was going to pursue. But I felt like as I was aging, getting older and, playing more advanced, I kind of just appreciated the game more for what it was and kind of just developed a passion. So I feel like that love for the game really came on in high school. And that's really when I started to pursue baseball only, kind of dropped off on all the other sports. And I bought in all the way on the process and was, deciding to see where it's going to take me. So, I committed to Arkansas after this last summer and was super excited about that. And didn't really know what my future was going to hold in terms of draft or Arkansas. I was a low 90s guy. I would run it up to maybe 94, 95, which is good, but it, probably wasn't going to be a draft type thing. This off season, I worked extremely hard, was plugged in with some really good people out of Houston, Texas, and pitching mechanic stuff, workout stuff, kind of rebuilt my body, and the velo started jumping like crazy. And my preseason bullpens, I was throwing 98, 99, scrimmages rolls around, and I was hitting 99, 100s. And so my vision for my future looked a little bit different. And some of the opportunities that were starting to open up. And I knew that maybe being an MLB prospect was definitely something that was going to be achievable. High school season was going really, really well until I ended up getting the injury and, having to have Tommy John surgery. But luckily for me, the Braves still wanted to go in with me, and it worked out. So I'm super excited.
Well, Cole, I've done my research on you a little bit, and I've seen some video of you talking about that injury already. And the thing that I like about you the most is just your confidence in dealing with that injury. It's just a setback. It's not the end of the world type of attitude. I love that about you. If you just want to talk to me about what you're doing to battle back from that and what the future looks like with your Tommy John surgery.
For sure, man. That's really, I think, an important thing for, any sport, any injury, and really anything in life. You got to be confident and got to trust what you do. So for me, I gave myself a day just to kind of, think about it a little bit, feel bummed if I did. And the next day was like, all right, what's the next step? How am I going to attack this? And, just a blip in the radar for me. So we had surgery about a week and a half after I got hurt. And, after that, it was just every step I had to follow in terms of the rehab process. So a couple weeks in a cast, got out of that, range of motion back, been strengthening up for the last three months now. So I'm in a really good spot physically. Strength is pretty much at 100% now in terms of equivalent in, my small muscles and stuff, forearms, rotator cuffs. So starting to do some plyo work as I start prepping to throw next month. So that's really exciting for me. I feel like I'm kind of starting to do some stuff, and, once you start throwing, it's going to go by a lot quicker. So it's really just attacking it head on. And for me, I'm looking at this amount of time to kind of rebuild my foundation in terms of my strengths, my range of motions, my mobility, all that kind of stuff, and being even more prepared and knowing myself even better than I did before.
For sure. And I know it takes a village, Cole, without a doubt. It takes a village to get a player to the major leagues and to professional baseball. Talk to me about your coaches, your parents, what got you, your supporters that got you here.
Yeah, I was extremely blessed to be surrounded by a great group of people. Family, amazing. They've supported me through every step of my journey and never questioned really anything. As soon as my injury was happened, they were right there with me. I like, hey, what's the next step? So, I'm super blessed to have them. They moved me around for baseball. They moved me out to, we're from San Antonio. So they moved me out to Houston in the off season so I could train and everything, and made a lot of sacrifices. So I give them a ton of credit for where I'm at today. In terms of coaches, I've never really had one person that I've been with necessarily my whole life, but I felt like the people that I had in the stages of my career were really, really vital, in terms literally for me being a little kid and, starting to love the game. And then each coach I felt like I had at a certain stage in my life was leading me to become more and more advanced. So there's a long list of people that I do think, and, still talk to, and very engaging with them. So I really appreciate all of them.
Without a doubt. Cole, one of my main goals of this interview is to introduce you to Braves country. So first off, welcome to Braves country, but also, what are you most excited about coming to the city of Atlanta in the future?
Yeah, believe it or not, Atlanta was, I think the first MLB jersey I ever had was a Brave jersey. And we've never been, from this area or anything like that. We'd always kind of been West Coast and move over to Texas, but for some reason I had a Brave jersey. And going into the draft, we are actually really excited about my options, and the Braves were one of the top teams we are talking to. And but also the fact that we like what they've done with pitching. We like what they've done with rehab and stuff like that, and how they're not afraid to move guys. So we were actually really hoping the Braves thing would work out. So when that happened, we were more than excited. And then me getting to go to Atlanta and checking out the Battery and the park and everything was like, man, this is a pretty nice place to call future home, hopefully. So I am more than excited, and I am in love with, the South and that kind of culture and stuff. So I feel like I'll fit in.
Absolutely. You mentioned having a Braves jersey when you were a kid. I got to ask you, every player that I've ever talked to had a guy when they were growing up that they idolized. Who was your guy?
Man, I feel like that's difficult. I feel like for me, it's hard because growing up, I was always an outfielder and a hitter. And so actually really till just the last couple of years, I've turned into a pitcher. So in terms of, pitching, I've never really had a guy that I've completely like looked up to because it's just been pretty recent for me. Um, Now I will admit my jersey was a Dansby jersey. I just loved watching him at Vanderbilt and everything like that when I was a kid. So um, that was probably my guy when I was, a young kid. But recently, I really haven't had anything.
Well, they're not going to let you hit the major leagues anymore,
Uh,
right?
no, sadly, I'm retired from the bat, but that's all good with me.
Well, that's all right. What can we expect from you on the mound? What's your pitch mix? What is your best asset? What's your go-to pitch? Just talk to me about what your mindset is on the mound.
Yeah, so I'll go over my pitch mix. Currently, what it is, who knows if that's going to be a little different in the future. It's forcing fastball guy. High school season, I was 94 to 100, was kind of like my range. I'm a changeup guy as one of my secondaries, and my main secondary is a slider. So I like to throw a hard slider, have good metrics on all three of those pitches. And, who knows how that's kind of going to change in the future. And, when the Braves bring me up to the minor leagues and the farm system and everything. But, from what I'm hearing in terms of all these meetings, it's probably going to be what I stick with. And the way I already pitched was based on a lot of philosophies that the Braves teach, which is really good to hear. So that's probably what you'll get from me once I make it to the big stage. In terms of my mindset, I've always been a competitor. That's literally my favorite thing to do on this planet is compete. And I feel like being a pitcher is probably the most competitive position in all of sports because each pitch is a one-on-one with the batter. You have the ball in your hand every single time, and you're making the game flow. So I'm going to compete. I'm not going to be beat easily. I always go out there to win, and I trust the guys behind me. So expect a lot of strikeouts and a lot of I don't know, a lot of strikeouts and a lot of wins. So that's really it.
Well, I got to ask you, you've had a lot of meetings with the Braves. Maybe you can tell me something that we don't know yet. Do you envision yourself as a starter in the future or a reliever?
100% a starter. That's just the way I am. I mean, who knows, end of my career, maybe I become a reliever or something like that, but I'm going to be a starting pitcher. And that's always the way I pitched. And that's what the best pitchers are. And I'm going to be one of the best. So you'll see me starting games.
Well, we're looking forward to it. But real quick, I want to take a step back and talk to me about draft night, because obviously that's one of the most exciting points of a young player's career, is actually getting the call saying you're going to be a professional baseball player. Talk to me about that. I saw the videos of your family coming together, friends coming together. How exciting was it to see yourself on MLB Network?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, a lot of different emotions kind of leading up to it, just because, we were pretty confident I was going to get drafted. Talking to a good amount of teams, and the range which we were hearing, we thought was probably going to work out. But you still have your uncertainties, especially with my injury, and it's just not official till you really see it on the TV. So, yeah, a lot of mixed emotions, but it was a super exciting day. I mean, we had so many people there. It was originally supposed to be kind of a smaller group, and the word just kind of got out around town, and there was probably 150 people there. So it was crazy, kind of jam packed. And the night was really long, so we didn't really know what to expect with the 2 rounds in day one this year as opposed to previous years, and it felt like it dragged on a very long time. Phones went ghost for a little bit, and so we had no idea what was going on. And calls started happening, agents started getting a little busy, and we were out there, hearing different things, and eventually got a deal done with the Braves. And so we go back inside, everyone knows something's going on, and everyone huddles in the main room, and you got 100 people in there. And I'm still, we think we got to deal with the Braves, but we're not sure till we see it up on the TV. And once they called the name, it was just kind of a blur from there. I mean, everyone's yelling, my phone's blowing up. I get a call from the Braves, like it was crazy.
Well, it was a great visual. It always is to see young players get the call. But with the organization like the Braves, who, I mean, they're the defending World Series champions, but they're also built to succeed in the future for years to come, it seems like to
Right.
me. I mean, what's it like going to a team like that compared to a team that, is on a downward trend?
Right. I mean, for me, I like that. I want to go to a place that's going to be successful because I'm a competitor and I'm a winner. And so if I can get in with a team like that that's already winning and I can contribute to that, then that's awesome. So yeah, it's going to be very competitive, and there's a lot of other talented pitchers and prospects, but I feel like that's only going to push me, and I'm going to push them, and in the long run, that's just going to make the Braves even better. So yeah, I'm super pumped. And obviously, that's part of professional sports, your job to win. So I'm excited to be on a team that does that.
Well, they've also had a lot of young guys come out of the woodworks. I mean, straight from the minors, and they're helping with the World Series run last year. I'm thinking Tucker Davidson, Kyle Muller, and even this year we've seen Spencer Strider. What does that say to you, being a young pitcher with high velocity, as to what your future could be?
For sure. That was one of the things we were looking at, is the Braves aren't afraid to move people through the system. And they feel like if you can contribute to win, and make a push or whatever the case may be, then they're not going to be afraid to hold you down. And, they'll get you up there if they think you can help win. So obviously I got to get healthy first and try and get back to where I was and, polish up a little bit. But once that's the case, I'm going to, try and be as successful as possible in the minor leagues and not waste any time getting to the bigs. So obviously I'm going to go on the Braves timeline. And wherever they want me to be is where I'll be. But yeah, I mean, my whole goal is to get there as quick as possible. So we'll see.
Without a doubt. Cole, I really appreciate you coming on here. We really do appreciate it. Braves country is excited to have you, as am I. And we look forward to seeing you throughout the rest of your career, man.
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me on. And I really enjoyed talking with you. And yeah, I'm excited to be part of Braves country for sure.
All right, guys, make sure to like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you next time right here and On Deck.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.